foot race is on. Andy Brennan bringing it down. Looking against Lockie Weir, gets it in. And straight onto the boot of Ashcroft. Kept in there. And Hume conceding the throw-in rather than the corner, albeit with Max Mikkola in the South Melbourne lineup. Throw-ins down there are pretty much the same thing as corners.
Spot on, Joey. I think you'd rather concede the corner than the throw-in.
So we will get our first throw-in of the evening for South Melbourne. They had plenty of them against Moreland City last week. Max Mikkola hurls it in. Inevitably looking for Sawyer, but didn't find him. And Hume get the goal kick in the end after it just bounces onto the head of Ross Archibald, one of the newest additions of South Melbourne this season, crossing over from Port Melbourne. As well, it's taken short by Hume, and Sawyer defended from the front. Hume forced to panic a little bit, and South will force the turnover in their half. Ocheng clearing header. And it's going to come back for an offside call in the end, which I guess one of the perils of when you're pressing up high like that for South. Isgrove, always dangerous, the former Bolton Wanderers man who scored 2 highlight reel goals across the opening fortnight of the campaign.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Lloyd Isgrove in the flesh tonight, Joey. I want to see what he does besides those highlight reel goals.
Just a remarkable capture from Hume City. He was playing for Bolton Wanderers last season in the English system, and now you can see there, ducking and diving on that left flank, bringing a real game-changing presence to Hume as the ball gets swung in, claimed by Lopez before it can reach Amir Abdallah at the back post. Another one of the new additions, Cam Watson. Coach Cam Watson is brought into the side. Spent last campaign with Heidelberg.
Isgrove would have to be probably the highest level of English signing I think NPL Victoria would have seen. Most players come from probably about 3 tiers below where Isgrove was playing. So,
well, you only need to look at Mikel Platt signing from the National League South, and considered a pretty handy addition.
Yeah, that's where they tend to come from England. So, it's quite a high level where he's coming from.
I mean, he signed from Bolton. Bolton just sent a player to the Socceroos Asian Cup squad, so that gives you a bit of an indication of the level that he was playing at last season, albeit he didn't make many appearances for Bolton in his last season, but he was still at that level, training week in and week out.
Oh yeah, you don't have a contract at a club like that if you're no good.
Jordan Lampard hurls that one forward, again over the top of Sawyer. Kept alive by South, Mikkola giving chase. Ashcroft just poking it out. We were wondering pre-game, Mark, how they'd set up, how they'd bring Andy Brennan into this lineup. Looks like he's slotted out to the right wing.
Yeah, he has. Painter Andrews coming out of the squad completely, so Brennan gets his first start of the season. So I hope he'll want to take that opportunity with 2 hands tonight.
Speaking of 2 hands, another throw-in from Mikkola. Big pack forms, sent back in, but sends out for a goal kick. Andy Brennan with, well, the outside of the boot effort after the clearing punch from Jackson Riley.
Another intriguing thing tonight will be South set pieces, because Hume, with their 2 big boys up top, are also quite tall defensively as well, with Maricic and Ashcroft in defence. They should be able to deal with those aerial threats quite easily tonight.
There's Abdallah trying to turn around the corner. It's turned over though. Mikkola, ball in, players rising, headed back across the face, and Riley will fall on it. First, well, major threat to the Hume City goal tonight. Quickly around the corner by Isgrove into Platt. South though getting in front, nodded on by Brennan. Battling back and forth for it. Isgrove can't wrangle it in. Brennan. No options in front of him, forced to go backwards to Mario Barcia. Wallen. South trying to retain possession. Hume in their face. So the hosts will try their luck down this left flank. Archibald giving Noel Bernarda something to chase, and Bernarda wins a corner.
South Melbourne look like they've also gone the 4-4-2 formation tonight, Joey, with Bernarda and Sawyer up top together, and Mikola, Brennan, Wallen and Barcia as the four midfielders.
A bit of a classic matchup, 4-4-2 on either side.
Mike Bassett would be loving it.
Max Mikola swings this left-footed ball in. Players arriving. It's going to fall to Sawyer. Blocked away. Platt with a clearing boot. Isgrove tried to knock it over his head. Couldn't do so. Platt again getting it out of there. Abdullah giving chase. Morgan Evans sent it high, and that's going to be a free kick. Sawyer getting in underneath Josh Bingham.
Geez, fortunate there, Hume, that Josh Bingham had actually slipped when he challenged for that header, because Sawyer's shot was going directly on goal and cannoned off Bingham's body.
Free kick won by Platt. Ocheng taking it quickly, getting it across. Isgrove. Hume clearly have a preference for getting that one down that left flank, and they're big coming together there. Bingham and Lopez. Furious reaction from Ross Archibald. We're going to have a bit of a melee here unless we're careful. Referee Jack Morgan in the middle there trying to keep the peace. There's a big coming together. I don't think there was any malice in that one. We see the replay on YouTube there. Just, Bingham had eyes for the ball, it looks like, but Lopez looks to be in a bit of strife.
Oh, Bingham had every right to go for that ball, in my opinion, Joey. He was looking directly at the ball, wouldn't have had a clue that Lopez was there probably at the last second, and tried to brace himself for that collision. So one of those things in football, really, when the ball's there to be won by both opponents.
I mean, it's never good for any team if you're losing your starting goalkeeper in the 10th minute, but real worry for Coach Esteban Quintas in the South dugout, given that, Javier Lopez, he's been the standout goalkeeper for this past 2 seasons. Goalkeeper of the year, South, the backbone of South for so long. If he's on the bench, William Lejeune, a handy backup, but Lopez, it's just on another level.
Correct, Joey. It's irreplaceable, is Lopez, so he is in a bit of trouble because it was a heavy collision, and Bingham's not a small unit, he's a big boy, so, and he landed quite heavily as well, Lopez, so hopefully he can recover and get back on his feet.
The 2-time defending NPL men's Victoria goalkeeper of the year, he's still down. Bingham is back up to his feet now, but Lopez actually has been moved onto his side. Not the best sort of sign. Meanwhile, William Lejeune is up, getting the gloves on, warming up. The big backup keeper, the Queenslander, signed with South after a stint at St Albans.
Might have just got the wind taken out of him, Joey. Just look back on the replay again. It's more in the chest area that the collision was, so just might be trying to catch his breath.
Crowd certainly not a fan of Bingham right now. As slice of cheese is produced, yellow card. Bingham goes into the book. Probably more one of those more outcome-based yellow cards, perhaps, albeit goalkeepers tend to get the rub of the green of these sort of things.
Yeah, I'd say so, Joey. I think that's an unfair yellow card, really. Bingham is a gentleman, and I don't think he's got had any intent to hurt Lopez there, and he had every right to go for that ball. I'm not sure what he was supposed to do. He had nowhere else to go but challenge for the ball. He couldn't back out of that. Lopez came off his line and decided to go for the ball, so that's part and parcel of football.
Jack Morgan perhaps just calming things down as well as he runs over to the touchline, having a word with match commissioner Alec Blacklaw. Of course, Jack Morgan, one of the best going around in NPL Men's Victoria. A-League Men's viewers will be familiar, having seen him referee in the Australian top flight as well, as I think Esteban Quintas has now gone into the book as well.
No surprise there, Joey. He's a passionate man, Esteban Quintas. He was nearly ran the full 400 metres of Lakeside when that collision happened.
Ball referee Jack Morgan tonight. He's being assisted by Astro Sakalis and Yanni Malidas, the fourth official, Monsilo Vaselinov, match commissioner, as I mentioned, Alec Blacklaw, and Eugene Brazali is here, the veteran of the NPL, of Victorian football in general, as the referees coach.
Yeah, I remember him from the National Soccer League days.
Coached was refereeing South's grand final win over Carlton. He was the man in the middle that day.
Seems okay, Lopez, moving around okay. I think just a bit winded, as I said.
Potentially a shoot on sight situation if you Hume, just test his lateral movement skills.
Yeah, 100%.
Platt trying to hold the ball up as we try to find our rhythm again after a lengthy delay that will be added on at the end of the first half as Lampard tries to send it up the touchline. Will be a South Melbourne throw-in. Bernardo rolls onto the athletics track. Ocheng trying to send it down the flank in the Abdullah direction, wins himself a free kick. Should be an interesting battle tonight, that Lampard coming up against Abdullah. Abdullah, quite a handy player, and Lampard still trying to, well, big shoes to fill at that left back position for South Melbourne.
Yeah, I think it was a great signing by South Melbourne, to be honest. Very hard to replace a player that's been there for so long and so good in Brad Norton. But Lampard probably one of the best left backs in the competition for the last few years, so to get him across was a no-brainer for South. But as you said, Abdullah is spent a bit of time overseas as well, and still quite young, so he's had a good start to life at Hume City as well.
Bit of work to do for Riley from that back pass. Hume City already the beneficiaries of a back pass situation in round one. Their winner against Dandy City just wellied into the net by Isgrove from an indirect free kick of a back pass. Only in the 94th minute that one came in.
Yeah, very fortunate free kick given that night.
It'll be an interesting way to win a game of football as Isgrove goes down.
Using all his experience there to draw the foul.
Morgan Evans, young right back, coming up probably against one of the toughest tasks he'll have faced in his senior South Melbourne career against Isgrove. There's Platt trying to hold the ball up. Certainly seeing more of the ball than Bingham thus far is Platt. As he's done very well there to skip past one challenge, but Marcia sliding in.
He looks the goods, Platt, and I've been impressed with him so far.
Abdullah gets the throw in from Ocheng, can't retain it. Nicola just sends it sends it forward. Pass intended for Sawyer, picked out. Weir carrying the ball upfield, brought down by Sawyer. That'll be a free kick and a talking to for the South skipper.
Hume will be happy with the way they started this game. They're taking it to South Melbourne, not scared to throw numbers forward.
So Lopez puts his boot through it. Head tennis breaks out. Weir battling for it against Bernarda, and Bernarda one out to Brennan on the right flank. He's got Sawyer in the middle, in that direction. Sawyer! Defensive header was important from Ocheng.
The smallest defender that Hume City has got. He's leaped like a giant there. It's great defending by Ocheng.
Albeit, he has given away a throw-in, and as you can see from Archibald and Marshall coming up from their position at centre-back for South, these basically are corners for South Melbourne. Mikola hurls it into the box. Another good defensive header, gets down to Isgrove. South come up with it. And we'll look to reset, going all the way back to Lopez. Booted forward now, Sawyer given something to chase. Bernarda there as well. Sawyer sends it out in the Brennan direction. Appeals for handball, waved away, and it will be a corner kick. So, ticking over into the 19th minute here at Lakeside. Still no goals.
Hume taking no chances, Joey. Everyone in the defensive box. No one left up top.
Be an in-swinging effort from Max Mikola. The arm goes up. High ball in. Marshall was there. Another defensive header from Hume. Bernarda charged down there. Umut Bozdogan, who I think maybe got the wind knocked out of him as he prevented the cross, albeit it will be another corner kick.
They're definitely up for it, Hume, though. They're throwing their bodies on the line and blocking crosses and making sure they are a nice and tight and compact defensive unit this evening.
As Hume set up a defensive perimeter around the 6-yard box. High ball in towards the penalty spot. Sawyer tries to poke it forward. Spill out to Mikola. Ball to the top of the box, netted on, back post, across the face of goal. Set up well for Andy Brennan, just the radar was off.
Yeah, big opportunity there. There's a free shot on site there. Hume just not reacting to the ball spilling out wide to Brennan. Should have hit the target, in my opinion, Joey, from that situation.
Andy Brennan has been more of an assists man than a goals man since he's returned to South Melbourne for his 3rd stint. One wonders what he'll think of that one on the video review, as Isgrove wanted to bounce that one into the path of Abdullah. A little bit too much on it. Lampard a bit too ambitious with the metres he was trying to gain on that one.
I was curious to see if they were going to pull that one back.
You normally can get away with a couple of metres in that area of the pitch, but not that level of brazenness. No. Nodded on by Sawyer. Bernarda flicks it on as he was falling, and Mikola can't keep it in. Abdullah had to be quick with it, sends it across field for Isgrove. Back to Weir. Bostogan coming under pressure from Sawyer. Weir just boots it out.
Did well in the end there, Lockie Weir, to get himself out of trouble. And the press was on and managed to squeeze his way out of it.
Lopez didn't like anything upfield, so he goes short to Marshall. And out to Evans. Wallen keeping it along the turf, looking for Bernarda. Comes to naught in the end. The press is once again on for South Melbourne, and they're going to force the turnover. Mikola sends his man to the turf, wants Bernarda, but it was being well marshalled by Maticic, and Riley comes to claim. And that's advantage played. Abdullah outside of the boot for Bingham. He wants a shot. Not the worst idea in the world, and he hit it well, but just couldn't bring it down.
Yeah, why not? The ball set up well for him. A player with Bingham's experience. Might as well have a crack from there. But we saw this last week from South Melbourne as well, playing out from the back and trying to move the ball a bit quicker in a high press. New age South Melbourne, Joey.
Just looking for that breakthrough. They battered Moreland from pillar to post in every regard except the scoreboard last week. Ended up with about 31 shots to 3 in that game. As Mikla again bursting forward and putting Ocheng under all sorts of stress, and he's forced to concede a corner. So another opportunity now. Archibald and Marshall coming forward, congregating around that penalty spot. See, Hume will have been practicing this all week, their defensive set pieces.
Yeah, a lot of detail would have gone into it, Joey. You have to against South Melbourne. They're so dangerous from their set pieces, as we know.
But this time, it's going to be taken short. Now, the player's still waiting for someone to try to swing it in. None of them do. Hume will have the opportunity to press forward, switch of play. It's over the head of Brennan from Morgan Evans. Set piece for nothing, really wasted.
I say it every time I see it, Joey.
Oh, Lopez is down again.
Every time I see it, a short corner is, for me, the most pointless thing in world football, especially if you're South Melbourne when you're so dangerous from set pieces.
Lopez is down again, requiring some level of treatment. Now, obviously, no one in the vicinity of him there, and looks like the fourth official is preparing the substitutes board, so it looks like perhaps Javier Lopez's night is over, his race run, that collision with Bingham.
Yeah, that's not what South Melbourne will want in a game like this.
I mean, South have done a sterling job of defending their penalty area thus far this season. They entered tonight having yet to concede a shot on target. Can't remember Hume having one tonight, so that's a record they've still got intact, but that safety blanket of Lopez looks like it is about to be yanked away. Yeah, and Lopez is going to come off supported by the trainer. So it will be William Lejeune coming on. From memory, he made one appearance last season.
Substitution for South Melbourne coming off. Number 1, Javi Lopez, being replaced by number 20, William Lejeune.
So also, of course, Burns a sub for South Melbourne. That's a sub they're not going to be able to make later tonight.
Correct, you don't often see teams substituting their goalkeepers. But Lejeune be licking his lips, you know, left the club in the off-season and joined Manningham, and for whatever reason didn't work out there in the pre-season, and came back to South Melbourne just before the season started. So it gets his opportunity, and interesting to see how he goes.
And Javi Lopez disappearing straight down the race. We'll try to get an update for you potentially at half-time about his status, because as we mentioned, the two-time defending NPL Men's Victoria Goalkeeper of the Year, any extended absence is not a good thing for South Melbourne. Meanwhile, Abdullah immediately testing Lejeune, and well, there we go. The first shot on target that South have given up all season is denied by William Lejeune.
Well, he'll be happy with that. A nice, good save, straight 10 seconds into him being onto the pitch, so should give him a little bit of confidence.
Probably not enough to get a feel for the ball, but as you say, the confidence booster, but he'll now have to defend the corner. Hume had an early one, not much since. In towards the top of the 6-yard box. It was punched by Lejeune. Thought it potentially came off the back of Manicic, but took another touch. So Lloyd Isgrove will have another opportunity to swing something in for Hume, and you can see just a mass of bodies in that 6-yard box.
Yeah, you've got to put him under pressure whilst he's still fresh onto the pitch.
But it's going to be a free kick for South Melbourne.
Lejeune's probably double the size of Lopez. A big unit, Joey. I haven't seen him before, so he did play at St Albans the year before he joined South Melbourne last season, so does have a little bit of NPL experience.
Of course, coming down from Queensland as well, that well-travelled NPL Queensland to Victoria pipeline.
So NPL Victoria Development League, NPL Queensland.
Well, Victoria did win the All-Stars game last season, so... And that'll be a free kick. Poster gun brought down in the middle of the park. I think simultaneously a case of Hume wanting a yellow card and South maybe wondering if it was a foul to begin with.
Well, Barcia did pull out of that at the last second. It was right in front of us, Joey, so I feel a little bit aggrieved with the decision going against them.
Ocheng under pressure from Mikola, loses his footing. Mikola steals in, knocks it to Bernarda. Back to Mikola, letting it run. Max Mikola, can he find Sawyer in the middle? No. Charged down by Ocheng, but it will be yet another corner for South Melbourne. Up comes Archibald and Marshall.
I dare say Mikola will be whipping this one in and won't be playing it short after the last corner.
Bodies getting in around that back post area for South Melbourne. Peels from Hume. Did it go out? Brennan sending it back in. Platt meeting it and directing it towards the halfway line. South content to let it roll out. And Barcia, well, he'll leave it. Jordan Lampard, all in his hands. Just sends it down that flank, nodded on by Sawyer again. Bernarda can't win it. Bit of a shepherding there from Ashcroft as it was cleared away. But it will be another one of these throw-in come corners for South Melbourne. Mikola drives it in. Headed clear at the first, headed clear at the second. Isgrove with a third header away. And that one was a free kick winning header from the Englishman.
It's another example of the advantage of having Maricic there, dealt with that very comfortably, that throw-in. He didn't even have to jump for it, just landed on his head.
Indeed, it's probably not often that Harrison Sawyer will come up against a defender that could make the claim to be approximating him in the air, but Manicic, one of those Victorian defenders that could make that argument, certainly when it comes to height and physicality, if nothing else.
It's just an intriguing matchup tonight. You know, Hume's a big, solid side, just like South. You know, tend to dominate teams because of their physicality and the size. So, you know, they've met their match tonight.
Isgrove getting in against Morgan Evans. Both of them lost track of it. Eventually bounced out for a throw-in for South, deep in their own half. Chance for Hume to erect a cordon. Sent down the touch, headed back by Hume. Ooh. That'll be a free kick for a high boot. One there by Lachlan Weir, a defender.
It's been very stop-start this opening half an hour, Joey. A lot of fouls and throw-ins and corners. Game hasn't really flowed quite easily yet.
Well, Hume getting their big bodies forward. Maticic and Ashcroft. The intention might be for Isgrove to loft this one in. Sent in. Bingham was the intended recipient, it looks like. Weir just shaping up for what would have been the goals of several NPL men's Victoria years. Was blocked away, and then South denied on the counter. Nicola hacked down, and that'll be a yellow card for, I think, Lockie Weir.
Yeah, well, they call that a professional foul. He had to make that foul. Though Hume were streaming back in numbers, desperate to get back.
One of those potential blue card fouls if they have introduced those.
Nice.
Football Australia have indicated they'd be willing to entertain it if the blue cards are introduced, so maybe we'll see their NPLs as a testing ground.
Well, I know it was introduced in Capital Football in Canberra, and apparently it was a huge disaster, and they tried to scrap it as quickly as they could. There's the great South Melbourne legend Ange Postecoglou had an interview a couple of weeks ago about it, said it would be the worst thing you'd see in football, because all you would see is teams just time wasting for 10 minutes till they get their player back on the park.
And keeping players on the park, potentially a bit of a headache for South Melbourne right now, as Max Nicola requiring a bit of treatment. They've already lost Javi Lopez to injury, and well, and we're talking about players crucial to what South Melbourne do. Max Nicola right up there as well with his long throw-ins and set-piece deliveries. It looks like he will be okay to continue. It's Barcia standing over this free kick. Marshall and Archibald have come forward for it. Of course, Harrison Sawyer's in there as well. And pretty poor free kick in the end, as Isgrove gets brought down, and that'll be a free kick. And will that be a booking at will? Another one of these professional fouls.
Yeah, the less said about that free kick, the better job. I don't think Barcia will be too happy with that himself. Just didn't get a hold of it. The pitch is quite, doesn't look, it looks great, but it's actually not as good as it looks, Joey. We walked across it coming up here to the commentary position. It's very, very hard and quite sandy underneath as well.
It's Lakeside host training venue for the Women's World Cup. Big surface makeover for that.
One of those good from far, far from good scenarios.
Free kick sent back across to Ashcroft, to Ocheng. Abdullah round the corner, and surely that's a push from Barcia. Yep. The advantage, attempted to play the advantage, Jack Morgan. There was none coming.
Again, still no rhythm to this game, just constant fouling.
Ocheng tried to take it short. Bernardo sliding across. Platt will eventually come up with it though for Hume. He's done well to lose Archibald at first time of asking, but the well-travelled defender recovered well. Can Sawyer keep this in? He does, just sets it up for a foot race. Bernardo, well, was going for it, and Ashcroft had to be good there because Riley was caught in no man's land. Throw in taken quickly. Bernardo wins the corner. Under 10 minutes to go in this opening stanza. Both sides still looking for the opener. South probably winning the territory battle if nothing else, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. In towards the top of the 6-yard box. Ashcroft, I think, was underneath it. Riley went for the punch, couldn't collect. Hume clear it away though. Weir, switch of play. Bingham is going to get underneath it. He's got Platt ahead of him. That's where the ball goes. Trying to play the 1-2. Archibald sending it back to Lejeune. That would have been a back pass, so he had to just boot it out of there before he was closed down by the Hume skipper. Bingham slowly maybe building his way into this game. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball as of yet. As we were talking about, this is the first time this season that Platt and Bingham have started together. We'll need some time to find that rhythm and that psychic connection between the two.
Yeah, I'm sure they've worked on it in training, but match day experience is quite different. Platt's been very effective in his 2 cameo appearances, and I've been very impressed with him so far this evening. It's a strong, physical, classic number 9.
Nicola does well. No, Bernardo, sorry, does well to retain the ball. That's 50-50 ball. Barcia comes away with it. About to say, for Sawyer absorbing a push there. If he'd gone down, that would have been interesting. As that on that occasion, Riley collects.
That's great goalkeeping by Riley. Bernardo's been excellent for South Melbourne so far in this first half. His pressing's been on point, working back defensively, and he's looked a real threat going forward for South Melbourne tonight. As they rotate Bernardo into the midfield now, Mikkela's gone up top next to Sawyer.
Big man, little man connection. Nicola and Sawyer. Platt on the ball. Platt coming down, was with Slough Town before he returned down, well, headed down under, I should say. Playing in the Conference League South as well, made an appearance in the FA Cup as well against Grimsby Town. Got a draw first time around before Grimsby Town kicked away. Former Queen's Park Rangers youth prospect. Turnover for South Melbourne, that press again. Mikkola wanted to turn it around the corner. And going to be a booking here for Bosdagan, it looks like. Or is it just a talking to?
Looks like he's got a card in his hand. It's Jack Morgan.
And the card comes out, another professional foul. I think the intention there was Mikkola was just about to play it into the path of Sawyer when the foul came in. But now, surely, Max Mikkola standing over it, he'd be thinking shot from here, wouldn't he?
Oh, he's scored a couple of bangers at Lakeside from this distance.
He's got Sawyer there as well. Barcia in the vicinity as well, but it's going to be Mikkola and Sawyer in congregation. Surely though Sawyer's there to just make them respect the right-footed attempt rather than actually to take it. But I have been wrong before.
Look at the size of that wall, Joey.
Will be Mikkola straight into that gargantuan wall.
That was a big wall.
Grove getting forward to press. Lejeune getting rid of it quick, smart. Platt coming up to apply some pressure as well, and he's rewarded as it's going to be a Hume throw-in in South Melbourne's half of the field. The 2 Englishmen for Hume City. Well, we were discussing before the game, Mark, whether or not former Hume coach Nick Hegarty might have had something to do with Eastgrove's arrival. Maybe it's something to do with Platt's arrival as well, that English connection.
Possibly. It's they've got themselves 2 good visa players, have Hume. And in this competition, if you get your visa players right, you're a good chance to do well in the league.
Archibald sends it high. Head tennis breaks out. It's going to eventually fall for Mikkola. Didn't really have any options in front of him, so he's going to go back to Lampard. Bernardo. First time ball in. There's nobody waiting at the back post. Brennan keeps it in, however. He loops the ball high, but bending away from goal. Abdullah clashes with Bernardo and wins a free kick. Just 3.5 minutes of regulation remaining here in the opening stanza, albeit one would expect a decent chunk of added time. Score remains South Melbourne 0, Hume City 0. Now over 220 minutes, South are yet to concede a goal this season.
Yeah, they're still very defensively solid. One of the hardest teams to break down over the last 3 seasons, really. They're just so disciplined and organised defensively, South Melbourne.
Ocheng forced to go backwards. Ashcroft. Manicic. South getting set up in their defensive shape. Without the ball, it's sort of a 4-2-4. Ooh, advantage played. Bosdogan out to Abdullah. One way and then the other, but stood up well by Lampard. Now Bernarda, switch of play. Brennan doesn't have the wheels beneath him to chase that one down.
Yeah, it was the wrong choice there by Bernarda. Nicola made a great run. Probably better off playing the ball into his path. Superb defended by Lampard there. Just held his ground and pinched the ball off Abdullah.
Bingham wanted to turn it around the corner. Will have to make do with a throw-in. Just about 90 seconds of regulation remaining here in the opening half at Lakeside. Hume just slowly making their way down that left flank. Eastgrove lays it off. Back to Ashcroft. Can they move the ball quickly with this switch of play? Ocheng. Closed down well by Bernarda. You talked about it, Mark, the defensive work that Bernarda has been doing.
Yeah, it's been top rate tonight. He's up and down, pressing very high. He's obviously got a good engine on him.
Ocheng. Again, closed down by Bernarda. The Argentine putting in a shift.
Hume look a lot better when they move it around a bit quicker than this. You find most teams can't break South down when they play slowly. When you move the ball a bit quicker against them and turn them around, that's where you can have some success. But when you're moving it around slowly around your back four, trying to find holes in the middle, you're never going to break them down that way.
Manicic just puts a big boot in, sends it away. Hume will have to do a bit of defending as we await to see what fourth official Veselinov will indicate. Looks like he's only got 4 minutes on the sponsor boarding.
Yeah, I was
certainly not going with FIFA World Cup rules.
No, I was expecting about 8 minutes, to be honest.
Bingham keeps his footing. And Hume will keep the ball, but they'll have to reset. A Kane. Ocheng sends it across onto the left flank. What can Eastgrove do? We calling that a cross or a shot?
I think it was a cross. Look, he's struggling to get in the game a little bit. I can see him dropping a little bit deeper into the centre of the park and trying to pick up the ball there. Early on, Hume were finding him quite easily, but South have started to nullify that option of switching the ball to him. But he's very clever, dropping into pockets to get onto the ball.
Lejeune tried to put his boot through it, maybe got a bit too much underneath it. South nonetheless retaining possession. Another switch of play to Brennan. That one is put on a dime. Brennan now going to work against Weir. It's just floating a tantalising ball across the face of goal. No one there to meet it. Bernarda, he has a go, deflected. Archibald towards the top of the box. Nicola wanted to head the ball to Brennan, couldn't make proper contact. Evans now pursued by Platt. Bernarda appeals for a handball on Otcheng, waved away. Abdullah trying to just knock it beyond Archibald and beat him in a foot race. Doesn't come off.
He's another one that's been superb so far, Joey Ross Archibald. He's winning every single ball and dealing with Platt's physicality quite well. He's a South Melbourne signing, if I've ever seen one, is Ross Archibald.
I was surprised that this is his first stint with South. Would have thought he'd maybe have put one in there at some point beforehand, but no. One time, was it Melbourne City or Melbourne Heart when he was there?
It was Melbourne Heart when he was there.
Yes.
He's been around the grounds in NPL Victoria, played for a few clubs.
Stinted Germany as well. Isgrove trying to get something into the box. South does well to shut it down. Now Brennan turns on the Jets. Does the former Newcastle Jet. Out to Mikula on the right. 1, 2, 3 players in the box. And then Mikula wanted the shot himself. Ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Isgrove keeps it in.
Just heard Ross Archibald yell out to Brennan when he was going on that run to take on Lockie Weir because he's on the yellow card, that's a high level of game intelligence there from Archibald to yell that out to your teammate, because it did look like Brennan was just going to pass it off. But you know, if you're going to beat him for pace, Lockie Weir can't bring you down in the middle of the park because of that yellow card.
Maybe Hume potentially content to just run this clock down. They'll take something if South gives it to them, but not going to take any risks.
Yeah, I think that's what the last 5 minutes of the half has been for Hume. They've just slowed the game down and just get into half-time at 0-0 and regroup and reassess where you're at.
Abdullah, nice little turn to Bingham. Back to Abdullah, avoids the sliding challenge.
So that's what I mean, Joe, about moving it a bit quicker. You can break them down quite a lot easier than the slow movement they were doing.
That will be half-time. Referee Jake Morgan signals an end to proceedings here after 45 scoreless minutes of football. South potentially doing more of the attacking, but really not testing Jackson Riley that much, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's been quite an even game, very stop-start, a lot of fouls and stoppages in play. I think both teams will be quite happy with the way they've performed in the opening 45 minutes, and it's anyone's ball game in the second half.
Indeed, well, both of these sides playing to go top of the league. If we have a winner tonight, they will be the lone side in the NPL Men's Victoria with 9 points, but no goals yet. Hopefully that will change in the second stanza. Be sure to join us on the other side for that one. No changes for either side. Maybe we'll turn the mic on and we'll start calling, and they can join us live. Welcome back, one and all, to Albert Park, Lakeside Stadium, here in, well, relatively inner Melbourne, South Melbourne, Hume City, locked at 0-0 after the opening 45 minutes. If one of these two sides can find a goal, they will end round 3 of the NPL Men's Victoria season alone atop the table. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us for this second half on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. I'm joined by Mark Ivkovic. Mark, as well, I'll get your thoughts in a second because Hume have come forward through East Grove, but South Melbourne cleared away. Mark, who do you think was happier heading into the rooms at half time, and what do one of these sides need to do to get the win?
I think South Melbourne probably slightly happier, but I think they'll still be disappointed with the way they were in the final third. Just that final pass just was a little bit off cue. I think Hume would be happy as well, you know, keeping themselves in the game. They had some positive moments. I think if they can move the ball a bit quicker through the midfield going forward, they'll cause South Melbourne some headaches. But yeah, having said that, it's going to be up to whoever wants them more, really, Joe. That old football cliche, the game's up for grabs for both sides.
As we see Hume, as they ended the first half, just knocking the ball about between each other in this back line. Metronome-like, just hoping to maybe pull South Melbourne out of position. South begin to inch forward a bit more. Hume have to go back to Riley, who looks out to Weir on this left flank. And he's going to cough the ball up, albeit Brennan's going to give it straight back. Isgrove. Platt. Tried the give and go, doesn't come off. Maticic cleans up.
He's changed his boots at half-time, Isgrove. Won't work for him, the fluoro green boots.
You were talking about the surface during the first half, Mark. Maybe, well, he's got that Bolton Wanderers money, doesn't he? He can travel with more than one pair of boots. As he's on the ball now, Isgrove. Trying to beat his man for pace and then swinging in towards the back post. Lejeune has punched it out, but only as far as Abdullah. And he chests it down, but knocks it over the bar.
Yeah, that's the difference there with Lopez coming off, Joey. Lopez would have just caught that like it was nothing, and South would have been on their merry way on a counter-attack. No disrespect to Lejeune, he's done okay there, but he's flapped it across a little bit.
And if you are just joining us, South suffering a blow, just about 15 or so. Well, the injury happened at about the 10th minute. Javier Lopez colliding with Josh Bingham, and then being forced off about 10 minutes later, bringing in William Lejeune. Bit of fancy footwork there from Josh O'Kane. Abdullah on the right, trying to 1-2 with Platt. And he's not going to be able to keep that one in, but it will be a corner kick for Hume City. So an opportunity for them to get their tall timber in the form of Ashcroft and Maticic up to join the likes of Bingham and Platt.
And clear tactic from Hume tonight with their set pieces, just crowd that front post.
As the ball is swung in, arriving at the back post was O'Kane, but he couldn't make proper contact.
That's a big chance, Joey. It's taken it half-heartedly. He's free at the back post. You've got to hit the target there. Opportunities are few and far between against South Melbourne. You'd be disappointed with that.
think that was Bustergun who came through like a freight train in the middle of the park, but he won the ball at least, or at least sent it back to his keeper.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Bustergun. He's done well for Hume City over the years, and you know, stuck around through the tough times.
Coming up through their academy before making his senior debut for the side in 2019. South again, you know, just play out from the back, going short. Nicola swarmed. He's going to cough the ball up and shove over Ocheng from behind in his attempts to quickly win it back, and that's going to be a free kick. A somewhat interesting position. Sort of in that no man's land between setting up your centre-backs and not.
Yeah, it's probably one of the worst positions to get a attacking free kick, Joe, in my opinion. There's not much you can do with it. You know, it's you put a ball into the area, it's got to be a world-class ball, and the defensive lapse really to create anything, and you pretty much just need to start again.
Well, it looks like Hume are going to keep their centre-backs home. Sent in the direction of Isgrove. Morgan Evans just heads it away. Hume will come again. Isgrove back to Weir. Platt was providing the short option. Instead it goes to a Kane. Croft bumped off the ball, and that's going to be a free kick. The advantage didn't come. Hume dugout was immediately up asking for the free kick. Manicic. Head off by Abdullah. Bosdugan. Little spin move. Bingham. Head on a swivel. Sends it out to Weir, who's come up. Tried to play it back to Bingham. Weir did well there to just keep the pressure on. And to Isgrove now, who's stayed back to cover the left-back position. And he's winning the free kick, much to the disgust of Noel Bernardo. One of those 50-50 ones, I reckon.
Yeah, a little bit soft.
Seen them given, you've seen them wave play on. That occasion it was given. Ocheng had to take a knee as the ball came to him, and that's going to allow Nicola to just come in and take it away. Sent in the direction of Sawyer, but it's claimed before it can reach him by Jackson Riley.
It's a very composed goalkeeper, Jackson Riley. I've watched some interviews with him on Hume's social media pages, who do a great job with their social media work, and he's a very confident young goalkeeper, backs himself, wants to be the best in the competition, and is doing what he can to get to that level. So far this season, he's had a great start to 2024.
Bingham off to Isgrove, doesn't like what he sees in front of him, so he's going to spin around. Bosdugan, can he move it quickly? Instead he's going to try to just drop it in behind the lines, I think, for the run of Abdullah, but he pulled up. Hume takes it. It
was the right idea, just not executed exactly how he would have wanted it to be done, but he's again, he's been everywhere tonight. What's the gun?
There he is, switching it. Well, tried to swivelling round and knock it forward. Instead go out for a throw-in. Players from the Hume bench up and moving around. Just the one player from South. Benches for both sides. William Lejeune, the backup goalkeeper, already introduced for South Melbourne as they come forward, but Riley will claim that. Marko Jankovic is on the bench. Lucas Inglesi, Neil Payos, Cooper Halfpenny, George Titsanaris. For Hume City, their backup goalkeeper is Aaron Arslan. And then the outfielders, Fletcher McFarlane, Josh Golevsky, Mehmet Uysal, Oscar Carlson, Marcus Aiello. Carlson arriving at Hume from the Swedish seconds here. Is yet to make a start, though, for coach Cameron Watson. Golevsky was the man that made way in the starting 11 for Platt, but he's going to be introduced now, and he's going to come on for Amir Abdullah. So Golevsky, who signed midway through 2023, came down from Canberra, scored his debut goal for Hume in their 2-2 draw against South Melbourne at Mackay Reserve. With 2 draws, these two sides played out in 2023.
Substitution for Hume City coming off number 24, Amir Abdullah, being replaced by number 10, Joshua Golevsky.
It's a very attacking move from Cam Watson. Golevsky's been playing up top next to Bingham the first couple of games, with Platt sitting on the bench now. Obviously, he's going to keep Platt and Bingham together up top, but Golevsky out wide, another striker really. He's really going for it, Cam Watson.
I mean, I rate it.
Yeah, so
Both
do I.
going for it, and Platt's been playing well enough that you shouldn't take him off. And while Bingham, he played the most minutes for Hume last season, he's one of those only off if it's absolutely necessary types. Hume's all-time leading goal scorer. Meanwhile, though, it's South coming in pursuit of the opener. First cross is closed down, and Nicola immediately starts jogging over.
With Bingham, he could have a quiet game and not get on the ball much, but you don't take him off because he's got the quality to just score a goal out of nothing.
And here we go, the NPL Men's Victoria's very own Rory Delap hurls it in. Well, punched away, but it's going to fall for Brennan, and for the second time he's going to have one of these looks on goal from that sort of area. That one, a lot more bodies in the way than his previous one, but on both occasions they haven't found the target.
Time to take a touch there as well, Joey. Just composed himself. Difficult for Riley, with going backwards. It's not an easy punch to do, but he's done well in that situation.
Taken short. South immediately try to spring the press. Bingham worked under the ball by Barcia. Comes a 50-50. Sawyer, smart header, forward, trying to get it into the path of Bernarda. Osheng forced to concede another Max Mikula throw-in. And the Clarendon corner springs to life.
And South Melbourne receive a lot of criticism for these long throws and their corners and stuff. Why wouldn't you use it, Joey? It's a weapon that no one else has.
It's hurled in the direction of Sawyer. Falls to the back post of the crossbar. Did that cross the line? It did not, according to our assistant there on the touchline. Hume City, by the skin of their teeth, remain level in this one.
Yeah, I don't think that cleared the line. It hit the frame of the crossbar, not the underside of it.
Of course, no goal line tech, no VAR in the NPL Men's Victoria. As we see another replay here on our screens. What do you think, Mark? As I keep track of the action, did it cross the line?
It was comfortably still in play. But right on cue, as I said, why wouldn't you use those long throws? That's the chaos that it can create. I'm sure every team would love to have Max Mikula in their side. One, for his ball-playing capabilities, and two, to have that threat of a long throw. You've got Harrison Sawyer there as well. It's a no-brainer to use that tactic.
It'll be a set piece now. Ball will be delivered via foot. The objective, however, remains the same. Ball is sent in. Players fly. The gun clears it away. Comes out to Eastgrove on the left. He just keeps play moving. Slices off the boot of Jordan Lampard. Hume City throw in just inside South Melbourne's half of the pitch. And looks like Hume City are preparing another change. I think that is Fletcher McFarlane.
Yeah, you're right, Joey. It is Fletcher McFarlane ready to come on.
And is that Yankovic warming up for South Melbourne there, doing a bit of running? Can't see over the number under the bib. Meanwhile, free kick, another slice of cheese being produced. This one being awarded to Josh Wallen. Hume opting not to make their change yet. We'll see how this set piece plays out. Nope. Spoke too soon. The change will be made. It will be Fletcher McFarlane coming on for Josh O'Kane. So the youngster elevated from the under-23 squad into the seniors for the 2024 season. He started all 3 games to this point, but now he'll make way for McFarlane.
Yeah, he held his own. He did his job in the middle of the park. Hume's got a lot more depth this season, though, Joey, compared to the last couple of seasons. McFarlane was a regular for Port Melbourne last season. Is a handy addition to the Hume City squad.
McFarlane's going to get a very early touch, gets the free kick from Isgrove as Hume looked to switch it quickly before whipping it in. It's going to fall for Isgrove, not the man you want to have it fall to. Feints one cross, goes for another one, and it was just going to be put out for a corner there by Jake Marshall.
He's done so well tonight. Morgan Evans has kept Isgrove quite quiet, but just the lapse of concentration there nearly allowed Isgrove in.
I mean, you're going to have to stay on him all night. He scored in the 90th minute in round 1 and then the 94th minute in round 2. As ball sent in towards the back post, Lejeune gets the punch. Danger not cleared. Players slipping and sliding around. Oh, spectacular attempt, and Lejeune forced to just punch that one over the crossbar. Was that Bingham, I think, with the bicycle kick?
That was Harry Ashcroft.
Harry Ashcroft.
Yeah, don't blame you for not spotting that one. I don't think Harry Ashcroft would have attempted many of those in his career. But fair effort. Lejeune done well there to recover and get back on his feet and tip that over the bar.
I saw the 1 on his jersey and I'm sure surely it's not. As that corner comes in. Good delivery. Golevsky was underneath it. He couldn't wrangle it. And South forced to just boot it clear to get a bit of breathing room. As we'll see a change for South. And it was Marko Jankovic getting warmed up. He's going to get thrown on for Josh Walling. So Marko Jankovic can play a variety of positions. Looks like he's going to be played as a holding midfielder now.
I think they'll move Ross Archibald into that position and put Jankovic next to Marshall.
Substitution for South coming on. Number 4, Marko Jankovic, replacing number 11, Josh
Right, looks
Walling.
like that has been the change.
Which will be interesting because Archibald's really done well on Platt, so Jankovic is no slouch either. He's an excellent centre back, so I'm sure he's more than capable. But Archibald was just doing a great job. Wallen did pick up that yellow card though, so I'm sure that was probably the reason for him coming off.
Archibald in his new position in the midfield gets a head on it. One of several in that exchange. Now here comes Hume. McFarlane trying to slide through Platt. And Platt's presence does enough to win a corner for his side.
It was a good ball by McFarlane. Just a little bit under hit, but still a good pass nonetheless.
So another opportunity for Isgrove to drop something in there. Again, Hume not quite. Oh no, now they come. So again, crowding Lejeune. Driven in. Isgrove opens up the angle in towards the back post over the head of Platt. Bingham does enough to not concede the goal kick. So Hume can get some bodies around this throw in. Just past the hour mark here at Lakeside Stadium, still no goals.
No goals and no real chances either, Joey.
That's the best chance of the game, Ascroft's bicycle kick.
Yeah, no real clear-cut chances for either side. Hasn't been a poor game though. I think it's been a high-quality game. Both sides giving it to each other.
Farland doing well to turn. And a real battle in there, and it's going to come out for South. Sawyer just flat-footed as the ball bounced in behind Hume's lines, couldn't recover. Claims by Riley, and now ball in behind for Isgrove. He's going to get there. Marshall's in his way. Isgrove looks for the byline. Nice drag back to Platt. He loses one man. They're just nibbling around the boxes. Hume, sliding challenge, is going to give away a free kick. Barcia sliding in and has hurt himself in the process of giving away free kick in a rather dangerous area.
That was a great ball by Lockie Weir to Isgrove as well. Just should have been a little bit more direct there, Isgrove. His first touch let him down.
One would imagine, though, he'll be preeminent amongst the Hume options to take this free kick. Barcia is still down, head in his hands, it looks like, as well, in a bit of pain. Well, they do have Emil Payos on the bench, South Melbourne, recently signed from Melbourne City. Described as one of the most promising young midfielders in the league by South upon his signing, so ostensibly potential option if Barcia can't continue, albeit he's back on his feet now. And here we go, congregation getting set up for Hume City. Bosdogan standing over it. Isgrove in there as well. Ocheng can hit them.
Yeah, my money's on Isgrove here. It's a great position for a free kick, really. Hard to set up your ball when it's central. Where do you stand as a goalkeeper as well?
Of course, you talked about the titanic size of Hume's wall. South can give them a run for their money on that front.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes, you can see McFarlane just trying to ghost away from some attention. Nearest to our commentary position in the camera side. So, Mick Bosdogan and Lloyd Isgrove standing over it. And it's Bosdogan who's going to go for it and can't find the target.
Not bad. I was hoping for an Isgrove free kick there, though. Just to add to the highlight reel.
Maybe they were banking on South, expecting the Isgrove.
That's brilliant work from Sawyer there to bring it down like that.
And ball played in front of Bernarda. Full of it. Ooh! And he sent Ashcroft face first into the sponsor boarding there. Again, one of these things where I don't think there was malice in it, but it has led to a man coming a cropper.
He's going to have a headache in the morning, that's for sure.
Cold night as well. You always hurt that little bit more on a cold night.
It is fresh, Joey. Like I said at half time, I pulled out the puffer jacket. And tomorrow I'm going to have the aircon on.
Melbourne.
Yep. Not a bad turnout though, Lakeside, for a cold Monday night, really. Not a bumper crowd, but 400 or 500 people, it's not bad.
Harry Ashcroft back to his feet. The former Thunder man. Former young Socceroo.
He's had an excellent game. Ashcroft showing all his experience next to Maricic. Both teams got a lot of quality out there. That's why we're at a stalemate, Joey. I just think they're cancelling each other out at the moment. Hume persistent on playing out from the back though, even with South Melbourne's high press.
I think you can see Bernarda and Sawyer poised like sprinters ready to come in. They go long and well. This guy flies to keep that play alive. Bingham trying to shield the ball. Appeals for out. Kept in. Now South, well, they are unable to keep that one in. Nicola. He sees it bounce away from him. Will be a Hume City throw-in on their defensive left flank. Ball in the hands of Lockie Weir. Lockie Weir, another one of these players that has become a bit of an institution for Hume ever since he crossed over from the Melbourne Knights. Back and forth, Mikola over his head for Bernarda. Down for Brennan, turning and shooting, and well, that was an important boot from Maricic, because if not, Sawyer was lurking.
And Sawyer would have put that away, that's for sure. You could see the corner when Sawyer's pressuring you like that.
Brennan a bit sore. Looks like he'll be all right to continue though. Another set piece opportunity. Mikola standing by the corner. 3 players in the 6-yard box, crowding Jackson Riley, the keeper. A lot of empty space between the players at the edge of the box and them, however. That's where the runs go. Sails over the top of all of them towards the back post, and we're getting in a corner from the other side.
Hume's defending on the set pieces tonight have been exceptional. You can see that they've put a lot of work into it. They'll be happy with the way they've gone so far. South Melbourne's had their fair share of corners and throw-ins.
It's going to be Brennan to take this one. Bouncing towards the near post. Got past the first man, couldn't beat the second. Hume just hoof it away. Will be a South Melbourne throw-in. Well, it bounced out on the halfway line. Mikola gaining a couple of metres. Evans hurls it forward and then gets the header. Chested down. Sawyer has some space and he winds up and shoots. Sawyer just wide of the post. And we're going to get a Hume City change. Marcus Ayalo coming on, replacing Umut Bozdogan.
Disappointed to come off. Bozdogan was one of Hume's better players this evening. But you can't give Harris and Sawyer time like that. One time the Hume City defence just backed off a little bit and gave him that space to shoot. He's more than capable of scoring from that distance.
Indeed, Sawyer is one of those players that you look at him and you just think, oh, headers, set pieces, but he does have good technique. The cliche, good feet for a big man.
He's excellent technically. He's a real athlete, Sawyer. And he's a big man, but he's got a lot of pace for a big man. And moves around the pitch quite well, very mobile.
It is inevitable that South probably will make a few more signings before they enter the NST in 2025. It will be Sawyer leading their line when they do so. Coming back to the club this year after stints abroad in India and Finland. Bernarda has the ball to run onto. That's a good ball to spring him in. The cross couldn't match. But an opportunity for Mikola to hurl this one in as we're approaching the final 15 minutes of regulation. Still no goals in this one.
We spoke about Sawyer's mobility just before that. You saw him come deep, win that ball, and they were off.
Hurled in again. Big packs formed. It spilled out, and that one's bundled over the line. Surely Bernarda has claimed it. Bernarda has the goal. South Melbourne 1-0.
There you go. That was Mikola's specialty. Some of his throws haven't been quite that good tonight, but that was the one. Got it in the perfect area, missile-like launch. Riley was nowhere near it that time.
Well, as far as goals scored, it's not pretty whatsoever, but it's effective.
100% Joey. Look at the chaos it caused once, 1 out of 10 work.
Goal scorer for South Melbourne FC, number
But,
24, Noel Bernardo.
That was the one.
South Melbourne 1, Hume City 0.
Nicholas' throws have been a little bit more towards the penalty spot tonight, and it hasn't worked for him. That was nice and deep. They crowded that 6-yard box, couldn't deal with it this time. They'd been so good defensively tonight, Hume, on those set pieces, and just couldn't deal with that one, and Bernardo bundled it over the line. Hume disputing that it wasn't over the line, but that was over the line by about 2 metres, Joey. There's no doubt that was a goal.
So Noel Bernardo, the Argentine, gets his first goal of the season. First non-Harrison Sawyer goal scorer of the campaign for South Melbourne. They take a 1-0 lead and now on the live ladder, top of the NPL Men's Victoria with 3 1-0 wins with 9 points. But Hume, they've made a habit of scoring late in their opening 2 games. Advantage played. Can they go bang bang? Mikola. Shot charged down by Weir. And Jankovic content to watch it bounce out for a corner kick.
Hume need to switch on here. They can't drop their heads. And South's going to come with a bit of momentum now. Crowd's involved. They're up and about. Just need to stay focused for the next 5 minutes and then give it a crack for the last 10.
Brennan standing over this one. Once again, South Melbourne just crowding Jackson Riley. I've lost him in that sea of bodies. He's not the tallest keeper. Just that light purple goalkeeping kit drowned out in a sea of red and blue. It's taken short to Mikola. Time and space. He's going to wind up. Saved at the near post by Riley. And moved out quickly. Taken straight back by Bernardo. Well, Jake Marshall is the gold medalist on the field for South Melbourne, but you'd have to be thinking Bernardo's going close to maximum votes from this one.
Yeah, he's been excellent tonight.
Platt lays it off for Ocheng. High crossfield ball, wanted Isgrove. Morgan Evans with the header. Aiello sends it back down. Gillespie kept the play moving. But Platt has it taken away from him by Jankovic. And it's going to be a free kick for South Melbourne.
You can see anything for South Melbourne is they have been quite good moving the ball around, but their goals this year, they've...
Scrappy.
Yeah, against Melbourne Knights was a set piece, a penalty against Moreland, and, well, we'll call the throw-in set pieces as well. It's the only bit of concern. They're defensively strong yet again. They just haven't created those clear-cut chances. Not through a lack of intent, you know, they're been criticised heavily for the way they've played the last couple of years, and they are trying to play the football on the deck and not go direct as they once used to play. It's just they've met, you know, some quite defensively sound sides. The Melbourne Knights like to sit off and keep the ball and make it a bit of a dour game and frustrate you. Moreland obviously sat back quite a lot, and Hume's been defensively very strong tonight.
Baricic moves it on to Isgrove. He's got Weir on the overlap. Goes inside instead. Sliding challenge. No free kick. All ball per referee Jake Morgan.
Great challenge from Mikola.
Brennan on the right flank, looking up, trying to find a target in the centre. It's Ocheng that comes away with it and wins a free kick. I think Ocheng wanted a yellow card.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll put that one in the professional category. It's a semi-professional tackle, that one, Joey.
Maybe Ocheng thinking every time I'm on the ball is a good goal scoring opportunity. Here he is again, and he's done very well. But South winning it back, and winding up from range, and Well, Jackson Riley content to watch that one just roll out.
Struggled since he's come on the park is Oscar Carlson. Still finding his feet in Victoria.
Another dangerous attack coming for South. Where's the cutback to the top of the box? Mikola blocked away. Follow-up effort. Oh, save. Fantastic save by Riley.
That's a great save from Riley. South Melbourne's coming though.
Isgrove. Good sliding challenge from Brennan. Mikola dances around Isgrove. Goes back central.
Brennan's been excellent tonight as well. It's one of the better games I've seen him play for South Melbourne.
Garcia over the top, looking for Mikola. Mikola was in an offside position. So less than 10 minutes of regulation remaining here at Lakeside Stadium. All Bernarda's goal, the difference between the two sides.
Well, Hume hasn't created too many clear-cut chances tonight. Now, there's going to be shut-up shop time from Esteban Quintus's side. You're going to find it very tough to break him down now, so any moments they get, they're going to have to be very clinical.
Arching to Bingham, to Isgrove, back to Bingham. Wanted Weir. Ball doesn't bounce through to him. Bingham has dropped deep to the left to claim it. Looking up, he's got Platt ahead of him. That's where he goes. Ball sold him into a bit of trouble. And now Sawyer, it's from range. Harrison Sawyer, is it on target? No, it's not.
Had to go for it.
Stars in his eyes.
Yeah, had to go for it. It's a very average ball from Bingham to Platt though. And a 5 metre pass, you just need to be a bit sharper there. I know the legs are getting heavy now, but if you want to get back into the game, you've got to be precise with your movements, with your passing. Everything's got to be spot on now.
Manicic just looking to drop something in behind South's lines. Isgrove came together with Evans, no foul. Golevsky carrying it inside and then laying it off for Carlson. Isgrove closed down by Sawyer. Tries to just slide it into the path of Ocheng's run. Doesn't come off. Lampard keeps it in and then driving forward. Jordan Lampard. Came off the back of a defender. Came off the back of McFarlane and he then got the ball. Bingham, he keeps dropping deep to try to instigate these Hume attacks. McFarlane tried to combine with Bingham, didn't come off. Platt throwing his weight around, winning a free kick.
The issue with Bingham coming so deep is that everyone else is dropping so deep as well. Golevsky, you saw Isgrove there centrally, and then it's just Platt up top against 4 monsters at the back for South Melbourne.
Plus Archibald is the 6 as well.
Very tough to break down. Hume better off just trying to get the message out to Bingham. Just stay up top, stay centrally with Platt. Just occupy those centre backs. Give him something to worry about.
Here we go. It's going to be a long throw-in from Hume City. It's a decent one as well, but can't beat Sawyer at the near post. Falls to Carlson. Decent touch to bring it down. Had Isgrove on. Instead turns around. Wanted Golevsky. Lampard just chests it to Lejeune. Content to take a second off it.
They'll start to get a little bit desperate, but they'll start playing the long ball game, Hume. It's South Melbourne's bread and butter defensively. They love that.
Weir does very well, does Lockie Weir. Isgrove. Carlson makes the run ahead of him. Cuts inside instead. McFarlane. It's Ocheng on the right flank. A bit of time and space. Ball in the Bingham direction. Headed away. Carlson scans. Heads it back for Maticic. The big centre back carrying it forward for Golevsky. Hume just able to keep it in. Golevsky gets it back. Ocheng just nibbling around the edges of Hume. They can't find a way through this embedded South defence. Isgrove has come all the way over to the right, gets bowled over fairly. Contest forms. Where's it going? It's going in South's direction. Here we go, just about to tick over into the 85 minutes played. There we go. 5 of regulation to go. South Melbourne 1, Hume City 0. Oh, interesting back pass.
Lucky there was no one reading that, and pressing Riley would have been a bit of trouble.
McFarlane. Trying to keep the play moving, only as far as Yankovic for South Melbourne. Bit of space out here on the left for Hume. Brennan, very tired legs, trying to get back as Weir carries it forward. Switch of play. Isgrove has gone over to the right flank. One way and then the other, back to Ocheng. Isgrove, but sliding in with a challenge was Jordan Lampard.
That's what I was talking about just before. Joey, you need to be so precise with your passing in these areas, especially against South Melbourne. Just need to make the right decisions. It's tough, 85 minutes. It's been a tough contest.
Lockie Weir had come all the way across from his left back position and he'd won a free kick, and now just close enough to goal that it's going to induce Ashcroft and Maticic to come up. So you've got Maticic, Ashcroft, Bingham, Platt, and the likes of Sawyer, Yankovic, Archibald, Marshall. A lot of height, a lot of timber, a lot of meat. Ball is delivered in. Platt tries to head it on. Did it last come off the striker? It did.
Not a bad ball from Lockie Weir. Just a little bit too low for Platt. Just couldn't get that power onto the header.
Substitution coming in for South Melbourne, and it will be George Titsanaris coming in for Andy Brennan. Maybe Esteban Quinta saying the same thing I did, just the heavy legs there as he tried to chase back. Great shift though from Andy Brennan.
Fantastic.
Substitution for South Melbourne coming off number 7, Andy Brennan, being replaced by number 80, George Titsanaris.
Fan favourite here at South Melbourne, George Titsanaris. He's been in the system for pretty much a decade now at this point. Juniors through to the seniors. Early touch, down to Sawyer. Kept the play moving, put it around the corner for Ocheng, but it's going to come back for a foul, no advantage.
I think if you yell when you get fouled, Joey, it just pushes the referee to blow the whistle for a free kick.
And Sawyer in no hurry to get up.
Again, for all the criticisms of South Melbourne and the way they win games 1-0, if they're that bad at it, they wouldn't be winning 1-0 every week, would they, Joey? They get the results, they get the 3 points, no one can score against them, and they score more than their opponent does. So
Western United won an A-League title doing that.
Right, doesn't matter how you win, it's the 3 points that count.
Ray Parler's Arsenal, the ultimate realisation of that, albeit I'm sure South Melbourne would like to start scoring more than 1 goal a game at some point soon.
Look, they would.
Especially from open play. There's a bit of a coming together. Harrison Sawyer not appreciating the attention. course, we've had a few yellow cards in this game as well. Players will have to be careful.
I think South Melbourne would want to be scoring more goals, and I think Esteban would be the first to admit that. But it's early in the season. I don't think the team would be fully fit at this point as well. You don't want to peak too early. At the moment, you know, if it stays the way it does, it's 3 clean sheets out of 3 games, and you know, 3 wins on the board, undefeated on top of the table. I think you take that any day of the week.
Maricic coming under the attention of Sawyer. There'll be a goal kick. There we go. Just about 20 seconds left of regulation now. So Hume are going to have to get a move on. South still pressing though. Not a lot of time left. And there, lo and behold, a turnover. Titanaris has stolen a march down the right flank. First time ball in the Sawyer direction. Cleared away. Mikola fainted the first time attempt. Mikola down towards the byline. Wanted to cut it back. Didn't trust his right boot. He's going to give away a corner. Is Lockie Weir in defending it. And we have 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes for Hume to clear this ball and then potentially try to spring the other way. South, well, when they're sending Harrison Sawyer short, that probably tells you the amount of intent they have.
Again, that's game intelligence. Well, why do you need to throw players into the area? 4 minutes to go, you're 1-0 up, and you know, it's a poor cross and you're on the receiving end of a counter-attack. There's game intelligence here. I love it.
Not very intelligent of Sawyer, though, to immediately put the ball out for a goal kick.
You wouldn't expect that from the big man, but again, it's not a counter-attack, and they're not having to throw numbers back so quickly.
Here we go, Maricic and Ashcroft trying to bring the ball out. McFarlane got a touch as well. South, though, still pressing, not making it easy for them.
Yeah, so they're not sitting off completely. They're still pressing in quite high. Hume's struggling to get out of their defensive half. And they've done it to him all game. Hume's been quite good, but they've really struggled with this high press.
It's Maricic. He's forced to go in the other direction. Probably not what Hume need. Lockie Weir has been one of their best in this second half on that left flank. And they just keep knocking the ball around this back for Hume City. They've got the ball up to the halfway line at least, but here we go now potentially. Isgrove down the flank. Got Carlson and Oching down there. South conceding the throw-in.
The banquet on Lockie Mikola to throw it in and throwing all the big boys up.
Now they're all coming up. Lockie Weir puts all his might behind the throw-in. Nodded on. Still nodded on. It's come out to the opposite side. Isgrove. High ball in towards the back post, and it's claimed well. Claimed decisively by William Lejeune.
Excellent goalkeeping. You know, it's been a while since he would have played a full 90 minutes, Lejeune, but they have the confidence to come out against Bigham like that and take it quite comfortably. I don't know about long throws against South Melbourne. They'd be probably the best team in the league to defend those. I dare say they'll be practicing those attacking long throws. They're training quite a fair bit, so they'd be well versed in defending them.
Although now Lejeune has stayed down, and
I'm sure he's okay, Joey.
Yeah, well, but again, Trader immediately out. 2 South players standing over him. I mean, accuse me of barracking for the yarn all you want, but if South have to put an outfielder in goal for these last few minutes, it would be entertaining.
Just milking that clock. As frustrating as it is as the opposition, you'd be doing the same thing if you're 1-0 up with 2 minutes to go.
Albeit, in theory, Jack Morgan is adding every second that we're not playing in on goal.
Yeah, they never add the full time that the player's down for.
Lejeune is now up, seated up at least.
Well, he's got to his knees now, Joey. Halfway there.
On his haunches.
Okay. Credit to Cam Watson, though. He's really turned this Hume side around since taking over last season. You know, they were down on their knees, and been pretty poor for a couple of years, but he's come in and he's had a full pre-season now. He's really turned his Hume City side around. I've been impressed with them tonight. He's recruited really well. He's got his tactics right. They look like a bit of a contender this season.
They'll be at home to Port Melbourne next week on Saturday evening. South Melbourne will make the trip to Petty's Reserve to take on Manningham. Not a lot of room around the touchlines on Petty's Reserve. I wonder how that'll affect Max Mikola.
Yeah. Both interesting games. Hume against Port Melbourne. Port Melbourne have been impressive so far this season under Nick Marinos. And interesting to see how South Melbourne go on the synthetic.
Free kick just hoofed into the corner. Well done in the end. Sitanaris trying to keep it in. Lockie Ware watches it go out for a goal kick, and you'd have to think if this isn't the final attack that Hume will get, it's the penultimate one. Got to at least produce a shot. It's hoofed forward by Riley. Bingham trying to get underneath it. Strong defensive header from Archibald. Weir just swung his boot around that. Mikola can't bring it down. Isgrove.
Work rate from
Out for a
Bernardo
throw.
again. Just harassing, and he's been non-stop tonight, Bernardo.
Ochek. Isgrove. Going in the wrong direction is Hume. Forward to Bingham. Ball bounces over the top of him, out to Weir. Comes under pressure from Titsanaris. He wanted the free kick, the second contact made. He was lucky not to get pinged for handball. Back post, Isgrove! Ocheng now across the face of goal. And that is it. South survive one final attack from Hume City and take out another 1-0 win.
Final score here
They
at
are the
Lakeside Stadium.
perfect
South Melbourne
side
received 1,
in
Hume
the
City
NPL
0.
Men's Victoria competition. Played 3, won 3, 9 points, top of the league. Noel Bernard's second half goal proving the difference, Mark.
Oh, what an end to the game there, Joey. I saw it. I saw he was on the end of that. I thought, don't tell me Isgrove's going to score in the 94th minute again. But great goalkeeping from Lejeune. Look, he did well. The last 10 minutes he was under pressure, and he stood up tall. And look, South Melbourne probably deserved the 3 points in the end. Hume will feel a little bit disappointed that they didn't create enough clear-cut chances. But entertaining game in the end, and South Melbourne good for the 3 points.
Well, it was an entertaining game at what turned into a pretty frigid night at Lakeside Stadium, but South Melbourne taking it out. You get the stats, more shots on target, more corners, more throws. So statistically, backing up Mark's analysis about South maybe edging this contest, but they will go away, as we said. Hume will next play host to Port Melbourne. South Melbourne will travel to Manningham. You will be able to see those games, as you will be able to see every game from the men's top flight, as well as the women's top flight, when it commences on the NPL Victoria YouTube channels. It has been my absolute pleasure to be joined tonight by Mark Ivkovic. My name has been Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Thanks and success. Like if you had conceded that for South, you'd be filthy.